Hi, artists of Oli. This is assignment 10, LoomaPalooza, with special guest star, my big dog Heffalump, going in the background. Este es tarea número 10, LoomaPalooza, con un invitado especial, mi perro enorme que dice en el fondo todo el tiempo. Sorry about that. So, we have learned, hemos aprendido a dibujar el diagrama Loomis. We have learned to do the Loomis diagram. Hemos aprendido a dibujar el modelo de tres dimensiones Loomis. We have learned how to do the Loomis three-dimensional model. We have learned how to draw a head straight on and in two profiles. Hemos aprendido a dibujar una cabeza derecho y en profil. We've learned how to draw looking up and down. Hemos aprendido a dibujar mirando para arriba y para abajo. And then we learned how to rotate that model into other orientations, looking up, looking down, not looking straight at you. Entonces aprendimos a mover el modelo en modos diferentes para mirar arriba or a ángulos diferentes. But what happens if it's not a man? Pero que si no es un hombre? We've kind of just used a generic man through all of these. Somos un hombre genérico, más o menos. But what if it's a woman or a child? Pero que si estamos dibujando una mujer o un niño o una niña? Well, all we have to do is make a few changes. Todo necesario es hacer unos cambios pequeños. Are we enjoying the dog sounds? Thanks, Heffalump. Sorry, I had to take him out for a ride with me to go in and record this. All right, we drew in our basic diagram. In el diagrama básico, we learned that the hairline is the second of 3 marks and that the nose line is the second of these 3 marks. El segundo tercer pelo, el segundo tercer aquí, la nariz. We also found out that we can use those lines to find the sides of the head. Ubicamos los lados de la cabeza con referencia aquí. Where that point hits, that's about the right width for your head, where the hairline hits. And then we could figure out how to draw our jaw. Entonces, ubicamos la mandíbula. We saw that the jaw starts from about there where the nose line meets the side of the head, más o menos donde la nariz toca. It's got an angle, couple of angles, and a flat bottom typically in a man. En un hombre típicamente está un poco cuadrado y tiene una porción así plano. For most men, that's typical. But for women, it's different. Para mujeres es diferente. These blue lines that were the side of the head come in a little. Los lados se muevan al centro, porque la cabeza de mujer normalmente es un poco más delgada. The woman's head is typically a little more slender for its height than a man's. The cheekbones also, las mejillas, have an angle. They're not so straight up and down as they typically are in a man. Las mejillas tienen un ángulo. We also have the chin is not as far. El mentón no está tan, la perra no está tan distante. And we learned that the jaw, la mandíbula de mujer, the jaw of a woman, is rounder, has fewer angles, and sometimes almost looks pointed. It's also narrower. Es más delgada, tiene menos ángulos, a veces puede tener casi un punto. Above the eye line as well, más arriba de los ojos, the forehead of a woman typically has more of an inward slope to it, whereas opposed to a man typically stands up a little straighter till it reaches the upper corner. La frente de mujer normalmente tiene un poco de, inclino, diagonal, mientras lo de un hombre normalmente está recto hasta más arriba. And so here we have man and woman, hombre y mujer, drawn on the same size diagram, dibujos en el mismo diagrama, del mismo tamaño. But what if it's a baby? ¿Qué de bebé? O de un chico, about a kid? Well, all we have to do is make observations of where things change from the diagram. Todo lo necesario es comparar cómo es diferente en un bebé y ya sabremos en el mundo. Okay, Primero, chin, entonces, está así. Mouth, though, it's much higher than the mouth line. La boca es mucho más arriba. The nose falls right where it should. But look, the eyes, los ojos están mucho más debajo del centro. The nose is tiny, está muy chica. Eyebrows are at the brow line, sí, todavía cejas aquí. Pero mira, frente. The kid's forehead is twice as high as a man's compared to the rest of his face. La cabeza está grandísima en comparación con la cara cuando tú eres bebé. So babies have all this room up here. Es mucho espacio para almacenar información. That's where all that stuff you're going to learn as you get older goes. Baby ears also. They start at the brow line, come down to the nose, more or less like a person, like an adult, but they're typically smaller. Las orejas son más pequeñas normalmente. So let's take a look. Where the man stops here, el bebé mucho más alto. It goes way more up. The chin being the same height, look how much wider the jaw is. La mandíbula está tan ancha and not very deep. No muy profunda tampoco. Our mouth has moved up. La boca está arriba de donde estará normalmente. Nose pretty much stays there, but the eyes, we've moved them way down. Normalmente estarían aquí. They would be here usually. They've moved down a lot. And again, we have orejas, ears from here to about the nose. So the baby's head isn't that different in shape from the man's, except that the cheekbones are much, much lower. No es muy diferente con excepción de que las mejillas, los templos, I don't know, la frente, this is all just so much more different. It's so much bigger in proportion to the face. Esta parte es tan grande en proporción con la cara. That's the biggest difference. Es la diferencia más grande. So here we have it. Hombre, bebé, mujer, man, child, or baby, woman. Those are your basic differences in face shape. Son las diferencias básicas. Eyes, nose, mouth. We put the eyebrows for the man, just kind of crossing over the eyebrow line as we would. For the woman, we put them a little higher than the eyebrow center line. Para mujeres, normalmente las cejas se ubican un poco más altas que el centro aquí. The eyes as well. También los ojos, un poco más altas en la cara. But for a baby, look, the eyes are all the way down here at mark number 1. At the first, they're a third down from the middle. Están bastante más abajo. I put the mouth pretty much on the mouth line. He puesto las bocas más o menos en la línea. The baby, I didn't give him any eyebrows because baby eyebrows barely show. Casi no se puede ver las cejas de bebé, but you can see where they would be. They're still lower than the quote eyebrow line. Todavía están debajo de la línea de ceja. Pero los ojos de bebé tan abajo. Orejas, para casi todos, empiezan más o menos a las cejas y terminan donde está la nariz. For a baby, it can be lower, más o menos como la boca, because their nose is so short here. So the ears of a baby tend to be a little taller compared to the rest of their face than they are on an adult. Las orejas de bebé tienen más tamaño en relación con la cara. Well, let's give them some hair. Woohoo! Stay classy, San Diego. Y aquí tenemos toda la familia. So I'd like you to try to make a man, a woman, and a baby face the same way. Quiero que hagas un hombre, una mujer, y un bebé using these proportions. I don't care if you finish the details. If you put where the nose will be, dots for the eyes, line for the mouth, things for the ears, está bien. I don't mind, that's enough. We are talking about proportions and comparison. Now, we're not trying to draw final features unless you want to. So, por favor, sigue este guía y crea una cabeza de hombre, mujer y bebé. Y mira, no necesitas dibujar todas las detalles. Este es un ejercicio en comparar. Quiero que pongas puntos para los ojos o círculos, que líneas para nariz y boca, líneas para orejas, que sea muy simple, ¿ok? Lo importante aquí es saber dónde están las cosas y no exactamente cómo son. All right, so take a photo of that. with the label Assignment 10, LoomaPalooza. Por favor, saca una foto con Tarea 10, LoomaPalooza, and attach that when you turn it in on Classroom. See you later, guys. Thanks a lot, dog.